we have game number 2 between Navi and Vega Squadron.
Radiant
Everything's
team
fixed.
banned.
Casting is going to be so much less stressful now.
Is it though?
I mean, casting with you is never great, but
It's not the best.
I've developed
Dire team ban.
kind of like the people who like take small
As you say
doses
that
of
everything's
poison.
fixed, our screen broke
Radiant team
again.
ban.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get cocky.
It's fine. It's fine.
Dire
I got
team
it.
pick.
You get cocky for 2 seconds, Cap, and this is exactly.
Yeah,
what
by the way, it's not actually. I figured it out.
Radiant
Okay.
It's
team
just a
pick.
Dota bug.
is it really?
It really is. Just for some reason, Dota just.
Shadow Fiend.
Radiant team pick.
Dusk.
Dire team pick.
Phantom Lancer.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Straight. Like if you're struggling against a team, or
10
the advantages
seconds
for the other
remaining.
team, like it's fine.
Dire team ban.
All right, I'm back. A quick restart of Dota and we're good.
Hopefully.
Dota, why? By the way, can we just?
Okay.
There's a
shoot.
patch and the play button is still bugged.
Radiant
Oh
team
yeah,
ban.
that's not great.
Anyway, Shadow Fiend Tusk.
Clearly something was
Phantom
coded wrong,
Lancer.
but it's just one of those errors that happens. I'm sure
It's fine.
not-
Reborn's coming. It's all good.
Yeah, it's not a big
It's all
deal.
good. Winter Wyvern and Ember Spirit.
10 seconds remaining.
Banned
That-
away by Vega Squadron. Two of the, I guess the AoE
5
control.
seconds
Well, first of all,
remaining.
Snako plays a really good Winter Wyvern, but the AoE control is pretty good versus Phantom Lancer, right? You also have
Reserve
Splinter
time.
Blast, which is decent.
He's like
Um,
18, right? Zaneko?
Sineko.
He's really young. If I
yeah,
remember correctly.
he's pretty young.
That guy, he's so good at Dota. Like, it's actually absurd. The way that he plays support, like I know there are other 4 players out there, but he almost just, it's unique in itself, like how well he can play
Radiant
when it
team
comes to the
pick.
positioning game,
Yeah.
and how he just always seems to kind of know what to do. You never see him just kind of aimlessly walk around the map looking for something to do. Like he creates opportunities for himself and his team.
Yeah, he
And-
travels the most among any players in like the first 15 minutes. That's why he's so strong
Oh,
with
is that a
roamers,
stat?
right? Yeah, I think that is a legit stat.
Oh, go him.
Nahaz, I think, brought that one up.
That's such a random stat that actually kind of
then-
helps to make this point.
Yeah, Eternal Envy repeated
10
it yesterday.
seconds remaining.
The guy is just amazing when it comes to kind of finding space for
5
his team.
seconds
And that's
remaining.
something that Navi, I felt, in the past iterations kind of lacked.
Mhm.
Like, they needed that true space creator, and
Reserve
they have it
time.
in Snako, and it really feels like PSM as well is a really good fit. Like, that lineup that he drafted, at first I was like, okay. Like, Axe carry, I can see that. That's a good counter to Dazzle.
All right, so what's our third pick gonna be for Navi? They still have the Darkseer or the Spirit Breaker if they want to try and run something like a little bit more aggressive to try and shut down the Phantom Lancer early. I've seen a couple teams go for that. They'll do like a Spirit Breaker, Darkseer Spirit Breaker. I actually really like that one. So double Ion
Darkseer
Shell and
Spirit
just run
Breaker?
at them.
Yeah, you've also got like Clock isn't a bad option here as an offlaner if they want to run the Tusk as a support. I was just about to say it.
Dire team pick.
It would
Sure
have been
you
so
were.
smart. No, I promise. On your life, Cap. The
On my
disruptor
life?
on your
Excuse
life.
me?
The disruptor support against the Phantom Lancer is so solid because it can get rid of a lot of the illusions and the damage initially, and you can kind of take away his best ability in the
Doppelganger?
the doppelganger, because you can just immediately isolate which one is the real one
Mhm.
and then bring him
Radiant
back
team
Yeah.
pick.
if he decides to try to run away. And it also instantly kills the illusions too when you glimpse.
Right.
So it's like you've got already a 1 out of 3 shot. You can turn it into a 50-50 pretty much, and it fits their aggressive playstyle too. Probably more importantly than anything is that they just want heroes that can run at you, it feels, like this new Na'Vi iteration. And Disruptor and Tusk are...
10 seconds
those aren't meant to be
remaining.
defensive heroes by any stretch of the imagination.
5 seconds remaining.
So the Darkseer off lane for Vega Squadron now.
Reserve time.
I feel like they've got a lot of late game potential between the PL and the Darkseer.
Yeah, and
We
Lena's really good too against
Yeah.
SF late game.
Oh, yeah. If you're able to get that Aghanim Scepter. I mean, whether it's a 4 or a 2 position, either way, it's going to be strong late game.
It's even better if you can get it on your 4 position.
Oh, yeah, and you can have some sort of other semi-carry as your mid.
Yeah.
Ooh, but Phoenix now for Na'Vi.
Dire team pick.
Doubling down a little bit on the team fight. I also really like this paired up with the Disruptor because there are 2 options against Phoenix, right? When he pops that egg, you either run away or you turn and fight it. Well, right now, Na'Vi, I feel, have a pretty strong enough team fight that you're not going to turn and fight the egg. So, in which case, Disruptor is going to get free opportunities to glimpse someone back into that supernova explosion.
10 seconds.
Yeah, and it's one of the
remaining.
heroes that I've seen Funnick play with a lot of stability. So
5
I don't
seconds
anticipate it being... I mean, this is going to be a pretty aggressive game by Na'Vi
Reserve
overall.
time.
Like, this is one where you definitely want to just continue to run at them, keep up the team fights and the momentum. This game, you might see a similar build-up where, last game they stacked for the TA, they waited for Roche opportunities. This game, when you've got a Radiant side SF, you're probably waiting for a few items. Like, you'll get the mech. Knowing Dendi, a Blink Dagger is also a really big possibility. Even before the BKB, I've seen him do it. Or even just going the mech BKB and then a Blink Dagger and then just getting into fights nonstop.
I feel like, though, if you're against a Lina, especially if mid-Lina, for sure, you have to go the BKB second item. Just because otherwise, you'll Slide Strike Array, like, you got to stop that combination somehow.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think going for the BKB second item is okay. I don't like it as a first item unless things have gone disastrously bad.
For sure. Mech BKB.
Even S
Yeah,
and Y actually isn't a terrible option too. But I think you kind of need a mech carrier against Vega Squadron's lineup.
Yeah.
But
Radiant
we're
team
seeing a
ban.
Crystal Maiden. Pairs pretty well with the Phantom Lancer. Gives you free mana regen for lanes that desperately need it. And probably more importantly than that...
I mean, if this is your 3 cores, right? Lina, PL, Darkseer, all of them are
seconds
really going to
remaining.
benefit from that CM aura.
yeah.
More Darkseer Ion Shells,
5
more
seconds
Dragon Slaves
remaining.
for the Lina.
The only... Oh, it's on my screen. The only downside...
Dire team ban.
I think here is that you don't really have too much that you can do to break. Like, once BKBs come online and once the egg hits, the Crystal Maiden actually does nothing for you. Like, when it comes to team fights, that CM is
10
not going to be
seconds
helpful
remaining.
whatsoever.
5 seconds.
Alright, so I guess it
remaining.
depends. I think Vega Squadron are anticipating
Radiant
it being a
team
mid Lina. So
Yeah.
Na'Vi, they've got one more pick to go. Probably need some sort of carry. If you want to just continue the vein that they were running, the Axe again wouldn't be terrible. Melees against the Darkseer aren't the best, but if you're looking for something like that, if you just want to continue to get aggressive, even Razor, Luna,
10 seconds remaining.
Jug if you're feeling particularly randy.
Yeah, I like Juggernaut.
Dire team pick.
called it.
I mean, what do you want? I got to give you your time. You're the analysis. You're supposed to be giving me what hero is going to be picked.
Let it be known, Cap, that I said it as the hero.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you named like 10 heroes.
I
but,
named
you
like
know.
3. It's weird. I'm just kidding. If people are thinking I'm giving myself too much credit, I just have fun when I like to predict fix. I think it's funny.
Definitely not. You should definitely flame
10
Blitz on
seconds
Twitter.
remaining.
Take him down a notch.
You know, people always do. Whenever I get excited that I get a pick
5
right, they're like,
seconds
act like you've been there. Act like Winter. I'm like, but I'm not. That's why I get so excited when I get a pick right.
Reserve
But,
time.
Is this going to be a Battle Fury Jug?
I don't think you need it. It depends, because if you have enough of a setup, then it's not very necessary. And they actually surprisingly pick a Storm against this lineup, and actually a really big surprise for me.
I mean, it's not bad versus the cores, right? It's just the Disruptor that's so difficult.
I think it's even bad against the like if he gets an Orchid, sure, but Funnick, if he gets something like a BKB, and you land one Fire Spirit against a Storm Spirit, and it's awful, Cap. And I don't think he can afford to get the usual setup. If he goes a Bloodstone, then the Disruptor wrecks him. And if he...
I guess I feel like as a Phoenix player, I hate playing Storm Spirit because he's like, he can always jump away from the egg. I'm very unlikely to land Fire Spirits against him just because it's a pretty slow-moving projectile.
I think I played with Cinder in a pub yesterday. We ran into each other in solo queue, and we played against a Storm. And yeah, what you're talking about happened, but using the initial zip to get away from the egg, which you don't really want to do. And like you talked about, it's so easy to get glimpsed back when you initially commit. And that part of it is just miserable. Like, Disruptor, people talk about Skywrath being the counter, but Disruptor is probably the biggest nuisance for Storm in the mid game. Because it's not like you get a Yules, because even if you Yules yourself up in the air, the glimpse brings you back.
Yeah.
And
you're also playing a much harder distance game against Disruptor, who, with that maxed out glimpse, can catch you even after you jump, while as Skywrath Mage has to really be able to catch you out by surprise.
Yeah, and probably the more important thing is, okay, so if you want to deal with the egg and you get a BKB, you won't have the attack speed to really contribute to taking down the Supernova.
Right.
Because Storm Spirit has awful attack speed. That's why oftentimes you'll see somebody go into Bloodstone and then they'll go back for the Orchid. It's just because the attack damage and the ability to pick off supports is so huge.
Right.
Even after you get it, and it's like a tier 2 item.
Yeah, there's not many intelligence items that gives you that kind of attack speed, right?
Yeah, exactly. It just synergizes really well with the hero, but I mean, luckily for me, they picked Storm, so I have something to talk about.
Great job getting
staying
to the joke
relevant.
Before I can.
You just gotta, it's like Eminem in 8 Mile, where he flames himself before anybody else can. That's my new thing.
So is that going to be like the first 5 minutes of the draft? Is you flaming yourself the whole entire time?
Like
so I have nothing left?
You saw
because there's a lot to flame you about.
Yeah, there's a Storm Spirit, Chubby Merlini. I can't even remember what other things that I have to bring up so that I can prevent myself.
Oh, don't worry. I've still got some more.
Okay,
I've still got
cool.
some more.
All right.
I'm helping you become bulletproof, Blitz.
I mean...
All right, Mag's going to start things off with the double ion shell. Juggernaut isn't going to be too happy about that, but then again, he's one of the few heroes that's able to bring his own natural regen to the fold. Healing Ward. It's going to help out a lot. You said many melee heroes don't like going up against Darkseer, but Juggernaut's definitely one of the few who can actually pull it out. Mag does manage to get his level 2 just in time. Takes a lot of damage in the process, though. Yeah, he's going to have to blow through his health potion.
The main reason I thought that the Jug was going to be the pick, and I guess I should justify this, is just... that top.
Funnick! Is he dead? Yeah,
he's dead.
The Lance just keeps on going, and he was low enough HP, he does die.
You got to be careful. You don't have any armor as a Phoenix. Like, he has 3 armor right now. Not a lot of HP, just 492. Like, it's quite easy for Solo to just trade right-clicks into him, and he just got a little bit too low, and I feel like there was an over-reliance on dive, right?
Yeah, that being said, like, he does get... Oh, he tried to. Unfortunately, a really good hard cam pull is going to be able to deny some of that experience. If he managed to get to level 3 really early on, he can actually battle it out with Alina and do all right, but...
He's taking so much damage right now.
Yeah, if they got another Lance, that would bring him pretty low.
I don't think he can continue to sit up here like this. Like, Vega's doing a really good job of isolating him and forcing him out, and...
That's the thing, right? Phoenix has no other options.
Yeah, I guess you can't just go to the jungle like a lot of other heroes, and it's not like you can sit mid. Like, there's some offlane heroes that you can send mid eventually, but you've got pretty greedy supports on the side of Na'Vi, and they need XP.
Oh, Phoenix goes down again. Caught the tail end of that one. Once again, getting caught out by the Light Striker. I'm not sure how our Phoenix just keeps going down, but... He does not manage to get off the Phoenix. I mean, Lina is not a hard support counter to Phoenix necessarily. It's not like you're dealing with a Silencer or a Skywrath Mage or something like that. He just simply got hit by the Light Strike Array before he could Phoenix dive.
This is brutal, and Funnick just keeps coming up here and playing it normally, and I don't know if this is necessarily the play, what he's doing right now, which is just to get aggressive non-stop, and eventually the lane pushes in and he gets XP.
Oh, Snowball slows him down, but Tendy, one more right click and he does go down. No one manages to pick that up with the help of the Crystal Maiden gank. Seneko tried to do A little bit of roaming with that Tusk, but it just wasn't enough. Meanwhile, Darkseer's gonna fall as well. Jeez, Havost just dives all the way underneath the tier 1 tower to be able to get that kill.
And this is why you pick the Jug, just because it lanes okay against the Darkseer. You've got the Healing Ward, you've got the Blade Fury to help out with kill potential, and you just need a hero that can help you sustain the push and sustain yourself in fights. And the Healing Ward is going to play a big part in that, especially since your offlaner's not going to go for the mech or anything like that. It's probably going to be Dendi. You just want as much help as you can from your carry.
Speaking of mech, that last death is actually slowing down the soul ring of Mag. Do you think he needs to go back and take some of the stacks? I've seen some Darkseers do that, where they actually go and take the first round of jungle. Oh, Funnick. What? Oh, the illusion is actually what killed him there. The lance went out. The lance damage by itself did not kill him, but the illusion gets one right click against the Phoenix and manages to pick up yet another kill. Phoenix is just a feeding machine right now against that dual lane.
It's not even... This honestly doesn't even... You hit it on the head where this isn't a lane that you would think would be the hardest in the world to lane against, because you just get levels and then eventually you can deal with the Lina one-on-one, right? And you know that the CM is mainly going to be focused on stacking and farming out the jungle, and I mean, this has just been so brutal for them.
Looks like they actually stacked up for the Phoenix, I think, which is a decent way to get the Phoenix back into this game, but unfortunately the Ion Shell is going to take away some of his right clicks.
Oh, did he actually just get the other one too?
Yeah, I think he just got like 4 of those neutrals in a row.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, Funnick's not even getting money for this.
Yeah. Still, he does get some experience. He's going to have to jungle Phoenix, I guess, at this point.
That's the thing. He decided he was going to play as if he wasn't dying.
Yeah.
He just kept going top, and he's like, oh, well, the lane, I'm still kind of getting XP, so this is pretty much okay. And you can get away with that for the first death. And then the second death is really questionable, and the third death, you're just like, I'm giving up free net worth.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just letting their carry snowball much faster than mine.
What a big problem was, first of all, the stacks weren't ready to go, but also you can't clear through stacks as Phoenix until you hit level 3. You have to have level 2 Fire Spirits. Otherwise, you just simply, you don't do enough damage.
Yeah, you're seeing it right now. He's doing his best. It's kind of like a really offbeat Bat Rider. Just like, is I guess the way to put it, and they managed to take down the top tower at the same time. This Phantom Lancer is going to be massive when this game enters the mid game. He's already got 3,600 net worth, 1,000, more than 1,000 above the enemy carry, and this is just on the heels of him having 2 kills, first blood, the assist, and this first tower. That's pretty absurd at this phase of the game.
Chris the main was thinking about rotating up to that top lane, but now he's going to get one of those aggressive wards behind the tier 1 tower. And
they want to make him
catch out Dendi. No one's got his level 7. He's going to be able to get a good amount of damage, and Dendi is definitely dead. The TP in way too late, as that kill just happened way too fast for the supports to be able to handle.
There's actually 0 chance that they save him, even with TPs at that point. Like, the Dendi was already kind of low, the amount of burst damage that they had was too high, and there's nearly 0 chance for a rebuttal kill. Yeah. Like, you have to TP one of your cores, but this Phoenix right now has like 100 health, and he's just trying to get items right now.
That being said, I'm pretty surprised at how quickly he's able to go through this jungle. Maybe this could be in the future a good way for Phoenix to be able to be a little bit more viable. Because that's the biggest problem, right? Is that as an offlaner, Phoenix has such a hard time getting to level 6. But here, with this kind of play, like, all you have to do is get level 3, and you jungle from there on out. It is very reliant on your supports actually stacking up for you, but if there's no support that's really that experience needy.
The downside, though, is I think you leave the lane a little bit too open. Like, you saw that. They just immediately take down the tower. That's pretty significant, because it means that it's harder for a support to just go up there by himself, because there's no real protection for him. Whereas if you notice at bottom, like, Solo's just kind of sitting down here, getting XP, and he's even zoning Havost out. Like, he's going to get his level 6 on the heels of this, and this allows the Phantom Lancer to vacillate between farming in the lane and just going to the jungle repeatedly. It's a little bit too difficult for them to keep up when it comes to net worth. Like, notice that he's just continuing to climb. Havost, it's a little bit harder for him to pick up levels and farm. just because he has to pretty much stay in the lane.
Waiting for Funnick to die again. He desperately wants his level 6.
He's about to get it.
Yeah.
He's really close.
His creep wave will give it to him. He just can't afford to be right-clicked by any of these creeps.
Nah, he's good. He's good.
Alright, so there it is. Level 6. He'll go back to base, and maybe we can have some sort of team fight, but where does he really go? He can't really jump the Storm Spirit. He's not helpful in that regard. Unless it's some sort of aggressive move by Storm Spirit in a response. But and I don't feel like he's going to be able to do well in ganking up like the Phantom Lance or anything. Really, all he's got is just the ability to stay alive in lane. He's not going to be able to change the fate of these other lanes at all.
What they probably really need is just Dendy to get his first major item. Like whatever his 3,000 gold item decides to be. Yule's Blink, BKB, Mech, one of those items, and then they kind of have to start getting aggressive.
Spotted Solo for a second there. But the kinetic field didn't quite catch. They will be able to take this tier 1. Funnick is joining him. Gonna go in, see if he can catch Solo. Light Strike Array will create the perfect opening for Solo to get away. The Snowball is actually gonna fall in underneath this one. Funnick gets off the Supernova just in time. You saw the Laguna Blade was about to go out. No one is actually gonna be sent back, but gets the kill on the Disruptor first. Now Funnick will be able to get away from both the Crystal Maiden and the Darkseer.
That was a pretty decent response. Just because you get a kill out of it, and it goes on your Storm more importantly. And at top, Sneko, he's out of mana. That was... I mean, Pasha's just kind of being gifted these kills. He's like, alright.
It's like, yes, I will lance you and run you down for the kill. Time and time again. Phoenix, now the Tusk. He's at 5,250 net worth already.
He was confused there for a second, because he's like, normally kills don't come this easy. He's like, do I go for this? Like, even Sneko was just like, paused for a second, he's like, alright, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Oh, but at top, Havos, he doesn't have his ultimate, but he does have the 4 levels in the Blade Fury, but they don't even bother. I don't think they have enough to catch up to him anyways.
He's going the Mask of Madness build, so this looks to be... I mean, it kind of already was with Dendy. You said he needed his whatever 3,000 gold item that was. You know, Mech, Blink Dagger, BKB, whatever it was, right? They need that first before they force the fights. Well, now it's going to be even more farm heavy with this Mask of Madness on the Juggernaut.
It's a good cheap item to be able to deal with, to deal some damage. It allows you to have some options, like you can go for the Roshan if your team picks up a medallion. And going for the 5-man, you just need cheap items, but...
Dendy pops the ultimate there, but the Laguna Blade does come in on time. Solo. Nice 2-man Light Strike Array, but still be caught by both the Arch Shards as well as the Glimpse. Tries to go for PSM. He weaked him low enough, and that means no one's going to be able to pick up that one still, though. He's low on mana. He's fighting up against Sneko, who's trying to get away. No one has still that Fire Spirits on him. Supernova gets laid out. No one's just going to try and run himself away, but the Ice Shark is going to block him in. A little bit more damage. 8 HP. They need something, but he actually pops a Soul Ring. It will be able to get some distance away. Funnick, can he land the Fire Spirit this time? The damage. Oh, Funnick gets the right click just in time. Oh, meanwhile, our Juggernaut died in the top lane. In the middle of the fight, I'm not sure what exactly went down in that top area, but losing their Juggernaut Na'Vi are not going to be happy. At least they get the kill on the Storm Spear. That would have been so disastrous if he had denied himself as well.
Yeah, you could see the Storm Spirit was just debating. He's like, am I faster than this Phoenix? No, you're not. Like, you're going to get caught up there. It's better to go for that. It was just unlucky because Funnick triggers the Ancients to come to him first, and then the Storm can't really get the Ancients to attack him in the way that he wants. And Funnick was right there. And all of a sudden, this Phoenix is pretty farmed. He's got 1,200 gold. He's ahead of at least the 2 supports on the enemy team, which sounds pretty bad, but it's not really considering how the start went. The problem right now for Na'Vi, though, is it's this Phantom Lancer.
This just sort of sets the Phoenix up for Midas. When you get that large amount of golds, and it's practically the Midas recipe, especially since you're still level 8, like, it's so hard to climb through the level 8, level 9, just because it requires so much experience. And you desperately need to get that level 2 Supernova. So I think Midas is definitely the right play here for Funnick.
If you think if he didn't get that kill, he just goes for the Urn and then just gets a bunch of cheap items?
Yeah, he starts going Urn, cheap stats, wherever he can find them.
Yeah.
And just becomes more useful in the team fights rather than trying to get the farming item.
Alright, so Na'Vi decided to go for the smoke. It doesn't really work out for them, though, and this is a pretty decent commitment for them, and you're noticing that no one decides to go for the Orchid. I like this decision because the biggest thing is that normally the Storm will go for the Bloodstone here, because he's the true 1 position. But in this game, I think just because of the start that Pasha has, he can afford to go for the Space Creation build. Like, look how much farm that Phantom Lancer has. He's got Boots of Travel fully completed, Yasha, and his Diffusal is halfway done already. And on top of that, he has all the items that he needs on the side, like Mask. He's got the Morbid Mask, he's got the Ring of Aquila. Like, this is actually insane right now. Like, he's 2,500 gold ahead of the Juggernaut, who has had pretty active farm.
Is this build really that efficient, by the way, on the Juggernaut? I keep wanting to go back to it. The no levels in crit, not even just 1 level.
I think getting a level of crit makes sense to me. The 20% is pretty decent.
Yeah.
I guess you don't really have a lot of damage, so it doesn't make that big of a difference, but I think getting at least a single level is okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting just to see him favor the Blade Fury so much more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so they're going to
especially against an offlaner that it's, I feel, not that valuable against, just because Darkseer can surge away.
Oh, this Roche attempt.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Ooh, this is going to be really risky. Posh is actually clearing through Ancient stacks right now.
He's quite low.
And
maybe get...
no one. Oh, he's actually going to jump up. He's going to be able to see this.
They know for sure.
Yeah.
They're just waiting. Pasha's a little bit low, so they might be a little bit antsy about this. But they should still be able to take this fight. Like, Pasha has enough farm that he can just go in and out.
Oh, Funnick gets off the Supernova. Na'Vi going to try and fight underneath that one. Omni Slash, Mag is going to be popped immediately. Supernova waiting that one out. Vega Squadron may have to go back in, though. 4 versus 5.
They don't have the Phoenix Egg anymore, and the Destructor ult is down too. And the Roshan has got way too much HP. Dendy's going to count the ult.
He gets off the ultimate right in front of Funnick. He will be able to get away. No one's actually going to fall right back in. Will be able to get that kill. Now jumps out, gets over the cliff, but still, because Dendy gets off that ultimate, they just wipe through so many heroes, they're going to be able to go back to taking Roshan. That looked like such a great fight opportunity for Vega Squadron, especially considering how far ahead they were already. But the Phantom Lancer really just isn't ready to go yet. You really need that diffusal before the damage starts kicking in.
I think that matters less and more that that Mag was just unable to get anything off. Like, the Destructor ult was used, the Phoenix Egg was used too, inside the Roche pit, and that would have been okay if the Roche was so low that Na'Vi could just speedrun it through, and but that wasn't the case whatsoever, and this mid lane,
yeah, no one.
Sam's gonna go down.
This is practically going to be his Orchid now.
Radiant's middle tower
Still,
is under
I feel like if Mag is able to get Vacuum Wall off, that's a one fight.
Na'Vi definitely bought themselves a lot more time against Vega Squadron. They still have to worry about this Phantom Lance, who's about to creep over the 10k net worth marker, and that Diffusal Blade about to be in hand as well.
He's just going to go to the Ancients, allow his team to farm up a little bit more. But really smart move by Na'Vi. It kind of feels like that's their wheelhouse. Like, we go for the Roche, and then we can take a lot as a result of this. And they don't have the damage necessarily to deal with Dendy just yet.
Sineko should have the damn. Well, Snowball's going to buy him some time while the rest of his allies start TPing in. Fire Spirit's being placed on no one, and there's the trouble you were talking about. They're going to be able to glimpse him back, place him underneath. No one desperately trying to get that last right click off now. Even the Crystal Maiden's coming forward, but he can't get the Frostbite. He knows it is a lost cause. He just pops the ultimate, hoping to be able to get a little bit more damage out on the Tusk, but no can do, and Funnick gets that double kill, which now pops him over to that level 2 Supernova.
That's what I'm talking about. He got hit by... The Storm gets hit by one Fire Spirit. And all of a sudden, he can't do anything. Because it's not like you can roll and it gets rid of it and it shakes it off. Your attack speed is still absolutely awful. You can't get into that fight. I think that's just a little bit too greedy by no one. Because he has the Orchid completed. Like, he just goes...
Oh, he had the Snowball. He actually pops the one, tries to Snowball again. But the mana just gets taken away too quickly with all those illusions.
It's just Pasha right now that is making this okay for Vega. Like, every time one of his teammates seems to get caught out.
Is he actually going to go for a big dive? Oh my goodness, the Omni Slash gets laid out.
Na'Vi?
Doppelganger to the side, but they're still going to be able to get the Lance. I think he knows they're pushing up the top lane, and they didn't have TPs. He's just going to TP out right in front of that tier 2 tower. The Glimpse actually got him. So he has to run his way out the good old-fashioned way. He has Doppelganger in 2 more seconds. The Sunray is not going to be enough damage by itself. Gets over the cliff. will be able to get away. And in fact, if anything, no one might get a rebuttal kill as Funnick is orchided up. That damage, oh, not quite enough. Dendy, he's here now. No one's actually out of mana.
He's got to go high ground and just run.
Yeah, they're going to go for the free pick off of the Crystal Maiden. Too bad they didn't have vision. Oh, they would have had vision from this ward. They could have brought back no one, but maybe with the Soul Ring and everything else, he would have had enough mana to escape.
That was so good by the Phantom Lancer, because he realizes if Navi had TPs available, or if they could respond to that, they would have already been there to at least kind of deter him. So I don't even think that's a bad play by Navi. I probably made that sound worse than it was. I think that's just the Phantom Lancer making a heads-up play and saying, nobody's coming in yet, I can continue to commit for this.
Dendy's now got 4k gold, so he can work towards that BKB that we're talking about earlier.
He needs it. They're just getting out-farmed right now on the map. Even with the Storm not being able to get a kill and overcommitting twice in a row, and Dendy not even dying, they're still not really catching up as much as they want in net worth. Like, even the Darkseer, who we've seen die twice now, has actually overcome the Juggernaut when it comes to net worth.
Mag's got his Blink Dagger, and he can start going back now for the Guardian Greaves. Doesn't even have the Arcane Boots yet, but that item is still going to have a lot of value as time goes on. Pasha, is this value Yasha, or does he actually complete the Manta?
I think you just go for the Scotty,
okay,
and you can go for an SNY later. But I think this is just a value Yasha. It speeds up your attack speed so much. Like, it's just such a free item.
Do you feel that Vega Squadron have a big advantage late game?
Yeah, because the Juggernaut isn't nearly mobile enough to keep up with either the Chorus from Vega. That's the gist of it. Like,
then can you explain to me why you would rather see Scotty? Because wouldn't Manta allow you to split push and effectively delay the game out a bit more?
But I don't think Manta's an item that you want in your 6-slot inventory.
Oh, Funnick is going to be hit by that last shot from no one. The TP's come out. Sineko's still going to be caught here. Vacuum and Snowball to be able to buy him some time. Pasha, they're going to try and keep him in one place. The Light Strike Array does go down. Solo still holding it off. Now the Eul Scepter gets laid out. Light Strike Array will miss, but they still have nukes necessary to be able to finish him off.
And this Phantom Lancer, we've been talking about him all game, but there's a reason for it. Like, this is pretty absurd how much net worth he has. Like,
oh my god, Dendy?
Navi can really fight this. Dendy's already out of mana. He doesn't have enough for the ult.
Oh, he tried to bait out the Silencer. Still going to be able to pull him back, but Pasha's still pretty healthy. Mag's going to come in. He's got the mech. They're going to turn around on PSM. Dendy, I think, was planning to just bait that one for the Disruptor to catch Pasha, but the fact that he managed a Doppelganger ahead of the Silence made all the difference in the world.
They even bring him back, but this Phantom Lancer is just way too farmed at this point. This is a hero that you typically see a slow build-up for, but I mean, this is like 5 minutes faster than normally you'd see him start fighting, but it's just Pasha just kind of running in, diving Navi heroes non-stop by himself.
No one's going to have the BKB soon, so he'll be able to threaten the Phoenix Supernova even more now. He's got decent attack speed thanks to that Orchid with the BKB that'll eliminate the pesky Fire Spirits.
This is just so well played right now by Vega, and Navi, they have to regroup. They have to kind of play around the next objective. It might be the next Roshan, like, especially after that first fight. I think they'll feel pretty comfortable. Like, they've got the egg, you've got Dendy who's got his BKB, ulti available to him, presuming that he doesn't lose his mana initially. But you eventually have to start kind of grouping up and taking objectives, because once the Storm gets his BKB and he gets his Bloodstone, and the Phantom Lancer gets his next major item, there's just no way for Navi to keep up when it comes to farm.
Is that the... Yep, it is going to be Scotty, as you predicted for the Phantom Lancer. Let's see, Glimmer Cape up next for our Crystal Maiden. Storm Spirit's just jungling until he has the BKB. No sense in putting yourself on map and potentially getting picked up by the Disruptor just before you have the BKB.
Probably more importantly than that too is just...
oh, he's actually going to go for Funnick here with the Orchid. The TP is coming in, but it's just going to be a bit too late. No, Funnick actually gets saved by the Snowfall, and the Orchid Did it pop before the snowball, or did it pop inside the snowball?
I think it popped. I think it popped already, and he was about to get one more right click off.
Avos.
Is Solo fast enough to get away from this?
Yeah. He's so fast. A couple of Fiery Soul charges. Doesn't even have upgraded boots. Just Yule Scepter and Fiery Soul. That's good enough. Funnick, they still be caught. He's got Supernova. He's going to turn and fight this one. Double Fire Spirits. Now Dandy battling it out with the PL. Doppelganger away. Solo's going to be caught, but it looks like they are not really going for it too much. Both having some issues with the Storm Spirit at the same time. Vacuum Wall. They're actually going to be able to catch Funnick as well as Sineko. Both trying to spin as much as he can. No one needs to be able to finish him off. Posh locked inside the kinetic field. The last Lance will be able to get the kill. The Healing Ward can't keep him alive. And now Dendy caught inside of the river. Slowed down by no one constantly. I don't think he's going to be escaping at all. Pasha closes the distance. Will be able to hit the lands. And Dendy's just going to be eventual food. Even the Courier going the way. Oh, that's actually, yeah, Radiant Side Courier going down. Vega Squadron cleaned that fight up nicely.
The Phantom Lancer, again, is just a little bit too big. You're noticing Na'Vi just get kited around in these fights. Like, Havos doesn't even have an opportunity to go for the ultimate. Because what does he go for? If he throws it onto the Phantom Lancer, then he just doppelgangs away. If he uses on the other core, which is the Storm Spirit, then he just rolls away. And the ulti doesn't just continue to chase you if you get far enough away. So Juggernaut is not one of those heroes that can deal with the mobility of heroes like that. And you wanted to see Na'Vi get into fights maybe a little bit sooner where they could make use of the glimpse and get aggressive.
Yeah.
But once you're playing defensively, almost entirely defensively with this Disruptor, the hero just loses so much of its value.
Do you need BKB on this PL, or do you think he's tanking it up by this point that he won't care about the Disruptor control?
I don't think he even cares because the Disruptor doesn't even worry about him in these fights anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he's still trying to lock down the Storm, but the time for that is past too because the Storm has a fully completed BKB that he wasn't even using in that last fight. And things don't get easier from here because you're not seeing any item progression on the supports. The Glimmer Cape is almost completed on Sineko, and that's going to help a lot. But you're not seeing one on the Disruptor, which is pretty key. He doesn't have a Ghost Scepter, or is that what it's called? Yeah, Ghost Scepter. I don't know why that sounded funny in my head. Like, Ghost Scepter is the other item you get if you can't afford Glimmer Cape. But neither of those items are coming anytime soon for him, and so the Storm is just going to blow him in every single one of these engagements.
Well, they'll have Glimmer Cape on Sineko at least. So maybe you can help out somebody. No one's going to be fine. They have the Disruptor ultimate, but the BKB makes it look easy. They're going to be able to go for more. A little bit of mana left on no one. Now the lance goes down, and he's going to be forced to pop the ultimate here and try and TP himself away, which he will be doing successfully. How many charges is he left with, though? 7 charges now.
Again, they're just not getting enough farm. Vega just continues to play ultra aggressively. They have to know that the ward's there. They're actually pinging it. Like, there's no way a Storm just blind runs in there, but what do you really do about it when Vega want to take fights outside of the base as much as they possibly can? Na'Vi kind of has to farm like that, because there's no real way that you're going to catch up if you're not farming a little bit risky, and your high ground defense is not the best. And it's going to get even worse because they're about to pick up an Aegis on the Storm, I assume?
Yep. So no one can now freely dive and go for a pick-off on Na'Vi and not really be punished too much. The Darkseer is now beginning to rival our SF for net worth. He's actually got Blink Dagger Mech Shivas.
You've got a DD rune on the Storm too, and the Phantom Lancer is about to get a fully completed BKB flown out to him.
We also have the Axe on the Lina.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's 250 gold away.
They are just swimming in money right now.
You give them 2-3 minutes, they're going to get the rest of their items and then probably just 5-man uphill. I mean, they've got so many big-ticket items coming in. Dendy actually going to be vacuumed back here. It looks like the TP was canceled, though, by the Lina. Maybe he thought that wasn't going to be going back with the Storm Spirit. Maybe that's because they want to blow up Havos. He gets the pull back. Laguna Blade's going to be coming in. It's enough to blow up the Juggernaut. Big kill there. Meanwhile, it looks like top lane Na'Vi were able to make an extraction. But Dendy now forced into a 27-minute S&Y after the BKB. He just needs some sort of stats and hope to win some fights against Vega Squadron.
You've got the BKB incoming on the Phantom Lancer. He has it now. And they're just going to beat away on this mid tower. The DD is still available for no one. He can look for any opportunities that he wants. He does have
Radiant's middle
his
tower
BKB
has
on
fallen.
cooldown, but still has the Aegis available, which is probably more important. And they know the Disruptor ulti was used at top 2.
Vega Squadron start poking at that tier 3 tower. They now have a Lotus Orb for the Phoenix. That'll help against the Orchid.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That's a fairly significant item too. Just getting rid of the Orchid and being able to turn around the Laguna, potentially.
It's a spam war right now, but that tier 3 tower is already down to 400 HP. There's the Aghanim's pickup for the Lina. And Na'Vi, they've got to initiate sometime. Oh, it's actually going to be no one jumping on a bunny trying to pull him up. Nice 4-man vacuum into the wall as well. The Lina gets some damage off, but they have to back up. Pasha's quite low. They're going to focus on him both. Gets that kill. Dendi, who is looking fine now without his BKB, can't challenge, and they're just going to call it GG without a boast. They know they don't really stand a chance whatsoever.
There's just too much for them to deal with. I think the Phantom Lancer just got a little bit too much out of the laning phase. When he got that first blood and then the subsequent 2 kills and the tower, at that point I felt like it was pretty much impossible for Na'Vi to really compete. And the Crystal Maiden as well. We saw her make so many rotations mid to just continually gank the Shadow Fiend, like even going behind the tower. Just too many smart rotations from Vega.